Regardless of how she came to the conclusion, the fact remains this woman knows the truth. If she gives this information to the police, it won't take them very long to figure out that Kira is actually me. I have no choice but to eliminate her.
Something wrong?
Oh, it's nothing. But the more I think about it, the more your theory makes sense to me. We can't waste any time. We need to start investigating it right away.
What? Really? Do you mean that?
Yes. So, have you told anyone else about this?
No, you're the first person I've told.
You're lucky, but how will you get rid of her? It's not like you can do it here.
Well, you have a gift for stating the obvious, Ryuk.
Aren't you bold?
Let's get started. Could you please tell me the date and time of the bus jacking incident?
It was December 20th in front of Asagao Hill at 11:02 a.m., bound for Spaceland.
December 20th. And they were on their way to Spaceland.
Yes.
This way, no one will find her body. And even if they do, they'll just assume that the death of her fiancé drove her to commit suicide. What's so funny, Ryuk?
I apologize for questioning all of you like that, but I'm afraid I had no other choice. I've determined that Kira is not among us.
Ryuzaki, how can you be certain that we're all innocent?
Well, to be honest, from the beginning I set a number of traps that would reveal if any of you was Kira. But after speaking with you one-on-one, I don't feel the need. Excuse me?
Unbelievable. He tells us to turn off our cell phones.
Understood. I'm just about finished here anyway. You've got the key, so let yourself in. Watari's on his way.
So that's everything. I'd like to report this incident to my father, if it's okay with you, that is.
Well, if it's all the same, I think I'd like to report it myself. And after talking to you, I've decided that it would be best to do it as soon as possible.
That makes sense. Just 10 seconds until 1:15. I have to admit, I'd really love to see how she dies, but I can't be caught following her around. Go on. Hurry to your death.
Kira will definitely be caught. Don't you think?
Huh? What's going on? It should have happened already. This doesn't make sense. I don't understand why she's not leaving. I've had no problems making people kill themselves in the past. All I had to do was write the word suicide. The criminals I tested it on all hung themselves exactly when I specified. My experiments indicate that in a situation like this, I should be able to control a person's actions. So, what's wrong? Ryuk. He laughed just like that when I was writing in the death note. And that's not all. I remember thinking it was bizarre how he laughed when I asked for her name. In fact, he's reacted the same way every time her name comes up. An alias.
Gentlemen, it's an honor to meet all of you.
This person is Watari?
What about your usual outfit?
If I dressed like that, I'd be announcing to the world that I am Watari. That's all it takes to give away the location of our headquarters in Ryuzaki.
Oh, I see.
Ordinarily, I would never show my face to any of you. The fact that I'm here is proof that you've won Ryuzaki's trust.
Now that you mention it, I do feel honored.
Well then, I brought those items you requested. It's all here.
Could you please pass them out to everyone?
Yes. Gentlemen, these are your new police IDs.
But what for?
She used an alias. That has to be it. Ryuk knew all along. He could see her real name with his eyes. That's why he wouldn't stop laughing. I should have known. She's been overly cautious from the beginning. I see. It makes a lot of sense. She believes that Ray died because he showed his ID to Kira. So, of course she'd be careful not to reveal her own identity. Oh, this isn't good. It's gonna be almost impossible to ask for her real name knowing she gave me an alias the first time. If I'm too persistent, she'll get suspicious. What am I saying? It looks suspicious that I even knew she was using an alias.
I should probably be getting back soon. Someone from the task force might be back there by now.
Oh, yeah. You could be right. Let's cross our fingers and hope someone's there.
Yeah.
Damn it. I'm running out of options here. I have to stop this before it's too late. Oh no. What if my father calls back now? I already promised her that I'd let her talk to him if he did. If this phone rings, it's all over for me. What am I gonna do? This is crazy. All I have to do is turn my cell phone off. Problem solved. Now, calm down. You know what needs to be done. Just find out her real name. Her purse, her pockets. She's gotta have a driver's license or some kind of personal identification on her somewhere. She's a woman, after all. I suppose if I had to, I could use force. No, the last thing I want to do is make a scene in public. I've got to get her somewhere isolated. But where? What explanation could I give her? It would never work. She's too careful. I need a better approach. I can do this. I'm going to convince her to give me her real name.
Hey, Light, you know, that deal I mentioned is still open. It's just like putting on contact lenses. Completely painless.
Would I be willing to give up half my life just so I could learn this woman's real name? No, I wouldn't. In fact, it's not even worth considering. Now quit wasting my time. Just shut your mouth, Shinigami.
Excuse me.
Yes?
Do you still have business at the police station then? I'd like to go there by myself, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no problem.
Our names and ranks are false.
Why did you give us fake IDs?
As you know, Kira requires a name and a face to kill. We will confront him with that premise in mind, and I think it should be obvious why.
Yes, but of all people, the police shouldn't use fake IDs.
Enough. What choice do we really have given the capabilities of our enemy? As long as you're working on this case, I think we're going to need all the protection one can get. It would be foolish not to use them.
Yeah, you got a good point.
Remember, anytime you're in a situation where you have to give out your name to a stranger, make sure to use the name from your fake ID, understood?
Right.
And be careful not to take them out while in the presence of other police officers. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that could cause problems for us.
I understand.
Very well, then. I'd like to request that you wear these at all times.
Belts?
Each one has a transmitter hidden in the buckle. This will allow Ryozaki to monitor your whereabouts. And when you press the buckle twice like this, my cell phone will ring, displaying your name. And I'll call you back immediately, but you won't see my number displayed. In the morning, all of you will go to the police station as usual. Then, later on in the day, we'll use this method to confirm the name of Ryozaki's hotel and his room number. Please use this for emergencies as well.
No way, this is totally cool. I feel like some kind of secret agent going after Kira.
Quiet, Matsuda! This is not the time to be fooling around. Knock it off!
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for everything you've done, Light. After talking to you, I feel much more confident about my theory.
Not at all. Considering that Ryuk mentioned that eye deal again, there's no doubt in my mind that she used an alias. At this rate, once she goes to the police with her theory about Kira being on that bus, and they look at all the people Ray Pembroke was investigating, it won't take them long to zero in on me.
Hey, she's leaving. So now what?
I've got about 5 minutes before that woman gets to police headquarters. I need her real name, and I don't have much time to spare. If this woman makes it to the police station and someone from the task force has returned by then, it'll all be over for me. I've got to find out her real name, then eliminate her quickly. Only 3 minutes left until she reaches the station. All right.
Oh, what you doing?
Excuse me.
Yes?
There's something that I should probably tell you.
Okay.
The thing is, it'll be impossible for you to contact anyone from the task force directly.
Huh?
That's right. Keep the conversation going. I just need to find something that she can latch onto, and I've got her. Once she's comfortable, then I can get her real name. I can do this.
I can't contact anyone, but why not?
Didn't you find it odd that there was no one at task force headquarters?
Yeah, I did find it a bit strange, but I didn't...
Let me explain. The task force has been organized so that its members can't be identified and nobody on the outside knows who's in charge. If the members' names were ever made public, or the structure of the task force was revealed, we'd likely see another tragedy along the lines of the one that claimed your fiancé's life.
I see.
That's why you were told earlier that no one was at task force headquarters. What I'm trying to say is, you'll never be able to talk to someone directly from the task force because the police simply won't allow it.
That's pretty clever. I'm impressed.
If this is supposed to be a secret, then how do you know so much?
Guess I spoke too soon. She's sharp.
Very well. You leave me no choice. It's because I'm actually a member of the task force.
Huh?
I'm sorry, you're telling me that you're an agent?
Yes. El is currently in charge of the task force, and he's leading our investigation.
Yes. To be honest, I already suspected that.
He was concerned that the task force had become too small. Many detectives had quit, fearing for their lives, and so, despite the fact that I'm a high school student, he brought me on board to help out with the investigation. After all, I've helped them solve cases in the past.
So, El trusts you then?
I can go to task force headquarters whenever it suits me, and I'm allowed to investigate freely as I see fit. You see, these days the task force is made up of a chosen few, an elite group of people handpicked for the job by El. All are highly skilled, well-respected, and above all, trustworthy.
Thanks for explaining, but just to be safe, I'd like to try and visit the task force headquarters again.
Uh-huh.
Goodbye.
Please, wait a second. It's like I just told you, they won't let you talk to anyone.
I know, but I was hoping I could speak with El directly.
Oh, and come to think of it, who's at the police station right now?
Actually, no one's there at the moment.
That's not good news. We need someone there at all times. Work in shifts if you have to.
I understand. Aizawa, I'll put you in charge of that for today.
Yes, sir. I'm on my way. Won't take me long.
Ms. Maki, please, wait a second. It's literally impossible to meet El. This is pointless.
You may be right, but I think that there's a chance that he'll meet with me.
Uh-huh.
Although the only contact I've had with him was following orders through a computer, he might remember who I am. You see, I worked under him in a case in the US about 2 years ago.
Are you serious? You worked under El?
Yes, I didn't tell you this, but up until 3 months ago, I worked as an FBI agent.
This is it. Finally something I can use. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. In fact, I noticed early on that your investigative skills were far beyond those of an amateur. You're very cautious, and you seem to have a gift for getting to the heart of the matter. If I could, I'd like to learn from you.
One lie after another, you make it look easy.
From the beginning, I knew I had to do things outside the regular channels, because from my perspective, both the police and the members of the task force were suspects. But I'm certain that I can trust El. Maybe it's unrealistic, But I think that if I go to headquarters and I give them my name, there's a chance that they'll let me speak with him directly.
I see. But if the only person you could trust with this info was Elle, then why me?
I suppose I was upset that they wouldn't allow me to see anyone from the task force, and then you came along claiming to be the son of the lead detective, and... No, that's not it. I'll be honest with you. It's because you remind me of Elle. There's something about you that's just like him.
Will you investigate this case with me?
Huh?
I want you to come work with us as part of the task force. We could use your help. As I'm sure you know, not just anyone can do it. Please, I know this is sudden, but the team needs people like you. I'm serious. You could be doing so much more than gathering information on your own. You have all the experience as an FBI agent. You're more talented than most of the detectives currently on the task force, and Elle obviously trusted you in the past. It wouldn't be that difficult for you to join. All you need is some valid identification, a recommendation from a current task force member, and of course you need to get Elle's permission.
You want me to join the task force?
I can't help but think that it must be fate that I met you today. I'd like to be the one to recommend you. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I guess I got a little bit too excited.
It's okay.
I mean, even if you acted as a consultant on this investigation, it would be a great help. I'm sure you have personal obligations to attend to, not to mention the fact that you live in the United States.
It's true. Before all this happened, I thought I'd continue living in America with my fiancé. We planned on getting married in the spring. But now he's gone, so I'm not sure what to do anymore.
All right, I've come this far. All she needs is a little encouragement. But you're young and beautiful, and you've got your life ahead of you. Why put it all in danger for this?
No! Now that Ray's gone, I've got nothing to lose anymore. I want to catch Kira. I don't care about anything else. It's all I want to do. Please let me investigate this case with you.
Yes, of course. I just need to see some form of identification before we proceed.
Oh,
Yes?
you see the name I gave you earlier? Well, it wasn't actually my real name. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, it's all right. To be honest, I'm impressed by how incredibly thorough you've been. You've stayed one step ahead of me. But I suppose that's just further proof of your capabilities.
So will a Japanese driver's license do the trick then?
Sure. I made it in time.
So, if you don't mind my asking, why do you keep checking your watch?
Oh, well... I guess it's because I'm Kira. What's the matter?
There's something I have to do.
My father's cell phone might be available now. Do you want to see if you can talk to him?
No, thank you. I have nothing to say to him.
Then goodbye, Naomi Misora.
That was footage from surveillance cameras at the station. The death of one of the FBI agents is captured on here.
Let's see the following scenes again. Ray Penber passing the ticket gate on his way in, then him boarding the train, and finally the part where he dies on the platform.
Okay, let's see.
I think it's next to that.
Oh, here it is.
So based on the records I have here, Ray Penber comes through the west entrance of Shinjuku Station at 3:11 p.m. Then at 3:13, he boards a train on the Yamanote line. But even if he was following someone at that time, I think it's going to be very difficult for us to draw any real conclusions from this blurry video. Then at exactly 4:42 p.m. Oh, thank you very much, Watari. And at 4:42 p.m., he exits the train at Tokyo Station and dies on the platform.
It's quite strange, don't you think?
I'm sorry, what do you find strange?
Yeah, what is it? Did you notice something?
We know that Ray Penber got on the train, and then an hour and a half later he got off and died on the platform. But the Yamanote line only takes an hour to complete its circuit. And more importantly, there's the envelope.
What do you mean?
He's holding what looks like an envelope when he passes through the ticket gate.
Huh? You're right. It's there under his arm. But in the footage right before his death, it's gone. I can't believe you actually caught that.
Well, I don't see an envelope on this list of his personal effects.
Which means it was left on the train. And if you watch closely at the very end here, it seems like he's straining to look inside the train before the doors close. You can see right here.
If that's the case, do you think it could mean something?
Wouldn't it be interesting if Kira was on that train?
That's impossible.
I admit I find it hard to believe as well. There's no reason for Kira to come to the scene of his own crime when he can kill from a distance. Well, maybe he was counting on us to make that assumption and figured he could get away with such a bold move.
What's going on with you, Light? You haven't stopped writing criminals' names in the death note for 4 days straight, so what are you trying to prove? I don't see the point in writing these names weeks in advance. I've never seen the death note used like this.
Consider it insurance. Suppose the son of the detective superintendent of the NPA was hospitalized. If criminals stopped dying at the same time, it wouldn't be difficult to connect the two.
So that's what this is.
Are you sure that I can use any date as long as it's before the end of a person's predetermined lifespan?
Well, I can't guarantee it because we Shinigami don't normally work that way, but I suppose any time before the end of their lifespan should work.
I really can't count on you, can I?
You got that right.
Yes? Yes, would you please hold for a moment? Ryuzaki, it's Yukita at the NPA. He says he's on the phone with someone from the tip line who has information for us.
Right. Then give Yukita the number for line 5 and ask him to have the informant call that line instead. It'll be safer that way. Mr. Matsuda, it's okay for you to turn on your cell phone now. Actually, please turn it on right away.
Sure.
Yes, this is Suzuki, head of Kira's Investigation Public Information Division. Ray Penber's fiancée. Naomi Misora. Heard that name before. So it's her. She's from the Los Angeles baby murder case. That's right. She was working under me. I guess she must have come to Japan with her fiancé. Well, apparently she's been missing since the day after her fiancé died.
I'm sure that anyone in her situation would be pretty depressed. Was it?
Suicide.
No, the Naomi Misora I knew was strong. Not to mention she was also an excellent FBI agent. If anything, it's more likely she'd be trying to catch Kira. It appears she came to Japan with Penber. It's possible that she may have found a lead. If that's the case, did Kira manage to get to her first? Everyone, at this point I'd like to focus our investigation on only those people who Ray Penber was tailing. In particular, he was assigned to 2 police officers and those closest to him.
Very well. Who are these 2 individuals he was investigating?
Deputy Director Kitamura, along with Detective Superintendent Yagami and their families. At this stage, I'd like to place wiretaps and surveillance cameras in both households.
I have to make sure there's no evidence left on this computer, just in case someone goes through it. Now I just have to hide these clippings from the death note in here.
It seems like you're pretty skilled with your hands. I bet you're pretty popular with the girls, aren't you?
Skill has nothing to do with it. It's your looks that count. I'm guessing you're not that popular, are you?
Huh?
Surveillance cameras? Ryuzaki?
I don't see how you could even consider this. If this got out, we'd have a civil rights scandal on our hands. We'd all lose our jobs.
You told me you'd be willing to risk your lives for this investigation, but you wouldn't risk your jobs?
Ryuzaki, what are the odds that Kira's in one of those households?
Maybe 10%. No, it's closer to 5%.
Seriously? I'm sorry, but it's not worth the risk.
No. Of all the people we've investigated so far, not one of them seemed even the least bit suspicious. Even if there's only a 1% chance, we simply can't afford to ignore it.
Chief?
I don't have to tell you how offended I am to learn my family is under suspicion. Having said that, just go ahead with it.
Oh.
And make sure you install them everywhere. I don't want any blind spots in the house, and that includes the bathroom.
Thank you very much. That was my intention.
Come on, Chief. You don't have to agree to this.
Yes, he's right. Think about your family. You have a wife and daughter at home, don't you?
Yes, I'm well aware of that fact. But there is no point in doing any of this if we can't be thorough. Now I suggest you keep quiet.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Excuse me.
As a courtesy to the chief and his family, only he and I will conduct surveillance of their home. Watari, how long will it take to prepare the wiretaps and cameras we need?
Well, starting tomorrow, I can set them up at any time, provided we know when both houses will be empty.
See you later, Light.
Yeah, see you tomorrow. What? No one's home yet. I'm home.
How's it going? I don't think anyone else is in the house right now. Do you want to play some video games? Come on, it's been a while. You listening? Hey, Light!
I don't believe it. I never knew he went to such great lengths. What could he be hiding in there that he doesn't want anyone else to see?
For a 17-year-old kid, I wouldn't say this kind of behavior is particularly abnormal. When I was his age, I did strange things too. Have you ever talked to your son about the investigation?
Of course not. I've never once revealed classified information to my family. Besides, I don't get to see them too often these days, and usually as soon as I get home, all I can do is sleep.
I understand.
Where exactly are we going? Light, don't ignore me when I'm talking to you or I'll get mad. Huh?
Doesn't look like these clothes have been bugged. I think we're safe. Listen to me. There's a very strong possibility that there are wiretaps and maybe surveillance cameras hidden throughout my house.
Really? But that piece of paper was still in your door, wasn't it?
That's true, but I left the paper in the door in a way that it would be obvious to anyone entering the room. The real test is the handle.
It is?
When that door is closed, the door handle automatically returns to a horizontal position and it won't go any higher than that. But whenever I close the door, I adjust it slightly. Instead of letting it sit horizontally, I lower it by about 5 millimeters. When I get home and I try to open the door, if the handle is all the way up, I can be fairly certain that someone was in my room. But that method alone doesn't tell me if my door was actually opened. So I put a mechanical pencil lead in place as well.
So what do you do with it?
It goes on the hinge. After I close the door, I take the pencil lead and rest it on the hinge in such a way that it will break if the door happens to be opened by anyone. Normally, I'd take it out myself when I get back home. When I got home from school today, I noticed that the pencil lead was broken.
Now that you mention it, I do remember that.
First the door handle, then the lead. I know someone was in there today.
Maybe it was your mother.
My family wouldn't have noticed the piece of paper. What's suspicious is that someone took the time to put it back in the door.
Hi there. Can I help you?
What's this all about? Are you buying a book about wiretaps and surveillance so you can figure this mess out?
By the way, Ryuk, what about your apples?
Apples? That's right, surveillance cameras. Once the apple's in my mouth, no one can see it. But while I'm holding it, it looks like it's floating.
I thought so. You told me that Shinigami can't die, so I guess it won't kill you to stop eating apples for a while.
Don't you think that's a bit much? Come on. I never told you this, but apples are to me what cigarettes and alcohol are to humans. Do you see what I'm saying? I even get withdrawal symptoms.
Oh yeah? What kind of symptoms?
My body gets all twisted. I do handstands. It's not pretty.
I don't need to see that.
I know.
Okay, here's the thing. Unfortunately, I already gave Elle the hint that Shinigami love apples, so I just can't afford to take the risk.
When did you...
If it's so important for you to eat apples, you'll have to find out where all the cameras are hidden. If you're lucky, you might find a blind spot where you can eat them without being seen. All right, let's go.
Yeah, a camera search. Sounds so interesting. I have to find the cameras.
I can't believe my son is looking at those magazines.
It's normal for a 17-year-old. But it seems contrived. It's too obvious. The only reason he didn't want anyone in his room was because he had these magazines. That's what he wants us to think.
Hey, that's my son you're talking about. Are you honestly telling me that you suspect him?
I do suspect him. That's why I placed wiretaps and surveillance cameras in your house and the deputy director's house.
I found a camera in the air conditioner.
So they really put cameras in here. They must have bugged the place as well. Even if this is the Kira case, I didn't think the Japanese police would ever go this far. This must be Elle's idea, which means they've narrowed down their list of suspects. By now, they must have figured out that it was someone who Ray Pember was investigating, or they wouldn't have gone to all this trouble. Man, these covers mislead you all the time. No. Given the situation, it's safer if I just assume I'm their prime suspect and the only one being watched. It'll be okay. Luckily, I prepared for this kind of situation.
Oh, Light.
Hey, Light! Come on! Dinner's ready!
I love you. Always.
Hideki Ryuga! I swear he's perfect! How come no one in my class is like that?
Sayu, just eat your dinner.
I'll eat later.
Hello, Mr. Aizawa. Are the Kitamuras watching television now?
Yes. He's not home, but the other four are watching while they eat dinner. It's Channel 4.
Watari, please contact the broadcasters and tell them to play our message.
Very well. Understood.
That's right. My parents met George Martin.
What's this? ICPO? They're saying that in response to the Kira murders, Interpol has decided to dispatch a force of 1,500 investigators to Japan. The investigators were drawn from the law enforcement agencies of its member nations. 1,500 investigators? Whoa.
Chances are they've got cameras in the living room as well. Regardless of whether this news is real or not, it's obvious they're just trying to evoke reaction from me. Hell, this is the exact same trick he used last time. The ICPO sure is stupid.
Huh?
I mean, there's no point in making this announcement. If they're gonna send all these people here to investigate, shouldn't they keep it a secret? Even the FBI agents who were secretly investigating were killed by Kira. Why would this be any different? If you ask me, this is nothing more than a desperate attempt to shock Kira in the hopes that he'll reveal himself somehow. Quite frankly, I wouldn't be surprised if Kira sees right through this.
Your son's clever, isn't he?
Well, yes.
Thanks for dinner, Mom.
Huh? You're eating a bag of chips? You just had dinner. Your good looks are gonna go down the drain if you keep that up.
It's a late-night snack for studying.
I think that's it, Light. I found every camera they put in the house. I guess Shinigami get tired when they work hard. Now let me explain where they all are. It's a little bit complicated, so listen up. There's nothing I hate more than explaining something twice.
All right, it's time for me to hit the books.
There sure are a lot of cameras in this room. I counted 64 in total. I guess whoever put them here expected you to at least find some of them.
It has to be L. He had no qualms about putting a death row inmate in his place when he declared war on me. It's pretty clear he doesn't know any limits.
What I want to know is how am I going to be able to eat apples?
Obviously, that's impossible now, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I guess you can't talk in here. But we'd better discuss this outside tomorrow.
Okay, I think I'm getting the hang of this now. Judging by the number of cameras he's planted, he's planning to make a decision within a short period of time. Any normal person would slip under these circumstances, but it won't be that easy with me, Elle. This is the closest you get! I've set things up so that criminals will continue to die over the next 3 weeks. But Elle is aware by now that Kira can control the times of death of his victims. Therefore, to avoid suspicion, Elle needs to see that criminals whose names are being broadcast continue to die while I have no access to that information.
Oh, the symptoms are starting!
I'm gonna show you, Elle. With Ryuk's information and my preparations, I can continue to kill criminals whose names are broadcast on the news, while masquerading as a typical high school student studying for his entrance exams. Just watch me, Elle. I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it.
After dinner, your son just goes back to studying without turning on the TV or his computer?
It's because the entrance exams are 5 days away.
Now, a criminal who I should have no knowledge of will die of a heart attack in 40 seconds. And the witness to my alibi is L himself. All right, just a little bit longer.
Ryuzaki.
Yes, what is it, Watari?
A few minutes ago, a bank clerk being questioned on suspicion of embezzlement and a purse snatcher being held in a detention center were broadcast on the news. They both just died of sudden, inexplicable heart attacks.
It's him again.
While all that was happening at your home, your wife and daughter were watching television. When that was over, they turned the TV off and didn't watch anything afterwards. From just past 7:30 until now, 11 o'clock, your son's done nothing but study. Kira needs a name and a face. Without those, he can't kill. So I suppose anyone who didn't watch the news can't be Kira, right?
You said it yourself. That means my family has been cleared.
It doesn't make sense that Kira would kill two petty criminals right after their identities were broadcast. I know it's only the first day after the cameras were installed, but the Yagami household seems almost too innocent to me.
Light, are you up yet?
Yeah, I'm awake.
Today's garbage day, so if you've got any, bring it down with you, okay?
What a pain.
What are you talking about? You usually say there's no need to remind me, Mom.
Yeah. Another beautiful day.
Well, I can't say for sure whether you're extremely generous or just a spoiled brat. But didn't that mini LCD TV cost you $400?
Good morning.
I can't believe my son is looking at those magazines.
Hey, Light!
I'll solve equations with my right hand and write names with my left. I'll take a potato chip and eat it. And the witness to my alibi is L himself. Are you sure about this? Ryuk?
Yeah, I'm sure nobody's following you, okay? Now hurry up already, will you? The symptoms are getting worse.
I really hope you're not saying what you think I'd want to hear just to get some apples.
Whoa, hold it right there. I just flew out and checked a 100-meter radius around you, and there was no one there. So yeah, for the last time, I'm sure, okay?
All right, but on the news they said they were dispatching 1,500 investigators to Japan.
They're bluffing. You said so yourself. If it were really happening, they wouldn't announce their arrival. Instead, they'd come and investigate secretly.
I suppose you're right. Well then, I'll buy you some apples.
Nice.
Here you are. Please come again.
Light, come on, hurry up. You know, you really haven't been that nice to me. You have me looking all over for cameras, telling me that I can't even eat apples in the house anymore. It's not right.
Make sure you eat the core as well.
You know, I might actually write your name in my death note and kill you, just like that. I wouldn't laugh if I were you.
Right. That reminds me, I've got one finishing touch left to add.
Hey, Ryuzaki.
Yes?
I've been thinking about the purse snatcher and the embezzler's heart attacks 2 days ago. It seems my family couldn't have had any knowledge of them before they died. Shouldn't that resolve any doubts you have?
You may be right. Even though Kira can control the time of death, I don't think there's any way he could have arranged their deaths without having seen the broadcast first, huh? Your son has come home.
So you're gonna keep quiet and pretend to study again, huh?
I have a good grasp of where all the cameras are placed, but I only managed to kill a purse snatcher and an embezzler using that trick with the potato chips. Both of them were guilty of much lesser crimes than my previous victims.
You're watching TV.
I made sure to kill criminals whose names and faces were broadcast when I didn't have access to TV or the internet. But there's a chance I'll look even more suspicious if only these lesser criminals end up dying while I'm not receiving information. In other words, if I kill other petty criminals whose names and faces are broadcast as I watch TV, I won't draw unnecessary attention to myself. For this to work, all I really have to do is remember the identities of the criminals I either see on TV or while I'm online, regardless of the severity of their crimes. That way, whenever I go out, I can use that piece of the death note I keep in my wallet to kill them at random times. Just like that. It's the perfect way to deal with these hidden cameras.
In the past few days, I've listened to all of our audio recordings and reviewed the video footage we captured. I've gone over them many times, and I've come to a conclusion. Our surveillance of the Kitamura and Yagami households has revealed nothing. We will remove the cameras and wiretaps.
All that and we still don't have any suspects.
It's okay, Matsuda. We'll have to pursue other leads, but we'll get them.
Please don't get the wrong idea. I only said that we were unable to reveal anything suspicious based on our surveillance.
What?
Even if Kira was among them, I'm sure he wouldn't make it obvious. No, in fact, it could mean he was able to continue killing without doing anything outwardly suspicious.
Well, then you believe that Kira is among one of those families?
As I've said, there's a 5% chance. Kira never stopped killing people, even while the surveillance cameras were in place. I still have no idea how he's been able to commit these murders, but let's say he could kill someone simply by wishing death upon them. You'd think that any human being would have shown at least some emotion, some sign that they were knowingly committing an act of murder. So the obvious conclusion is that Kira couldn't be one of them. However, what if he is one of these people we've been watching? If he is, we have to assume that his psyche has reached godlike proportions, punishing evildoers without the slightest change of expression. It almost makes me want to believe that Kira doesn't exist, that this is just the wrath of a vengeful god. But that idea is completely absurd. To think that God would need a person's face and name to kill them? No, these aren't acts of God, but someone very childish and immature who wants to pretend they're God. That's what's going on here. A mass murderer who calls himself Kira exists somewhere. I'm sure of it, and I will catch him. But I can't count on Kira making any mistakes. It doesn't matter how long we watch him, he's not going to expose himself to us. So what should I do? Ideally, I would get to know him well enough that he'd admit to me that he was Kira and show me how he kills. Would that even be possible?
Hey, Light, I just checked and all the cameras have been removed. All of them, every single one. Hello? Are you listening to me? Hey, Light! Oh, good point. We still don't know if they've removed all the wiretaps from the house.
I suppose this means I'm no longer a suspect. Everything's going as planned. But I'm sure El won't give up that easily. If he's still working with the Japanese police, chances are my father is working with him. Or under him anyway. If that's the case, I'll have to use my father to find out El's true identity, and I'll eliminate him. Once I get rid of El, Kira will be one step closer to becoming the god of the new world.
Light, hurry up. You don't want to be late. Oh, do your best.
I know you don't need it, but good luck!
I really don't see why you two are making such a big deal out of this.
I'm relieved we don't have to deal with wiretaps in the house anymore.
Well, it's nice to know that one cause of stress was resolved before my exam, and once I get into university, I'll have a lot more room to act as Kira. Then I can focus on finding out who El really is.
You there! The exam will be starting in 10 minutes, so you better hurry up!
It's fine. I plan to get here 3 minutes before the test. I hate waiting. I'm here too early.
Well, well, confident.
And begin! You there, student number 162. Sit properly in your chair.
It seems like a lot of Shinigami are observing the human world lately. What's with that, anyway?
It turns out Ryuk is being kept by a human.
What's he thinking? Seriously?
He's a disgrace to the pride of the Shinigami.
No, I'm talking about the human who's keeping Ryuk. Who would want him as a pet? Aren't pets supposed to be cute?
When you're right, you're right.
So what's the story on this human anyway? Is it a male or a female?
Who knows?
In that case, I think I'd better go take a closer look.
Oh boy. You're a college student now. That's kind of exciting. I'm filled with joy.
Now for the freshman address, freshman representative, Light Yagami.
Yes.
Ooh, wow.
And freshman representative, Hideki Ryuga.
Here.
Is that Hideki Ryuga, the pop idol?
That guy? There's no way he's got the brains to get into a school like Toho.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't look anything like the real Hideki Ryuga.
I knew I'd be giving the address with one other student, but I never expected this. I remember him from the exam center. He got into trouble for sitting oddly in his desk. It seemed like he was off in his own world.
As all of us embark on this new chapter of our lives...
The student who scores highest on the test is supposed to give the speech, right?
I guess both of them must have had the high score this year.
I'm honored.
I heard they both had perfect scores for all subjects. Seriously?
It's hard to believe there are actually people like that.
I think I like the little one on the right. What?
Let's make the most
You're so
of it as
weird,
we move
Kyoko.
forward into the
Look at how he's
future.
dressed.
Man, these two are total opposites.
Yeah.
This one looks like a sheltered genius who's been groomed for success his whole life. But the other one...
As we embark on this new chapter in our lives...
There's something not right about him. He's just freaking weird.
This guy must be what they call a mad genius.
Coming to the Toho entrance ceremony dressed like that? Unbelievable. Either he's crazy or he's just toying with us.
Freshman representative, Hideki Ryuga. Light Yagami. Your father is Chief Soichiro Yagami of the NPA. Your respect for your father's matched only by your strong sense of justice.
Who the hell is this guy?
You're planning to join the police agency when you graduate, and you've already got experience, seeing as you've helped the police solve a number of cases in the past. Now you're showing an interest in the Kira case. I'm impressed by your abilities and your sense of justice. If you promise not to tell anyone about this, I have important information concerning the Kira investigation that I'd like to share with you.
Where's this coming from? And who is he? Is it safe to just ignore him? But I wonder what this information actually is. I won't tell anyone. What is it?
I want to tell you I'm Al.
What? There's no way. What's he talking about? If he really was L, he'd never admit to it. I thought this guy was a bit strange, but this is pretty extreme. Stop. This isn't good. Don't act surprised. On the off chance that he really is L, I have to act how Soichiro Yagami's son Light Yagami would act in this situation. There'd be no reason for him to be afraid. If you are who you say you are, then you have nothing but my respect and admiration.
Thank you. The reason I chose to reveal my identity to you is because I think you could be of some help to us on the Kira investigation. Light Yagami. The likelihood that you are Kira is just under 5%. Even so, something tells me I'm not wrong to suspect you. But you're just too perfect. If you are Kira, I can't think of anything that would put more pressure on you than this little scenario.
If this guy is really L like he says, then consider me impressed.
Indeed. If this guy really is L, no, even if he's not L, I can't do anything to him. If what he's saying is true, it probably means he's already shown his face to my father. What now? If he were to die right after telling me who he was, it would only confirm their suspicions. Although it's obvious Hideki Ryuga is nothing more than an absurd alias, it still complicates things. Even if I get lucky and it isn't an alias, if I try to kill him by simply writing his name in the death note, I might accidentally picture the face of Ryuga the pop star and end up killing him instead. And if this guy doesn't die, he'll know for a fact that I'm Kira. Is he really L? Does he already suspect that I'm Kira? It's hard to say how much he knows, but I must be under suspicion. What other reason could he have for telling Soichiro Yagami's son that he's L? Does this mean that he's still suspicious of the people that Ray Penborough was investigating before he died? Even so, I still don't see why he would reveal himself to me directly. I can't let him see any signs of distress. It's better if I just clear my mind.
I didn't think the ceremony would be so interesting.
Hey, Light.
You hear that? I think it's your new friend.
Nice meeting you.
No, the pleasure was mine.
What an amazing car.
A limousine?
Well, I'm sure I'll see you on campus.
Yeah, take care.
That kid must come from some serious money.
Plus, he's at the top of the class? Where's the justice?
Hey, welcome home, Mr. Toho.
Damn it! He got me!
What do you mean?
Damn, L! I've never been so humiliated in my life!
Hey, why don't you just do the Shinigami eye deal? Then you should have no problem killing him, right?
And what good will Shinigami eyes do me if this is just a trap? If I kill him and it turns out he's not really L, that would be like announcing to the real L that I am Kira.
Sorry.
Don't think that Shinigami killing people and humans killing people are the same thing, because they're not. I want nothing more than to kill him, but if I do, it's like asking to get caught. Unfortunately, the Death Note can only kill the person whose name is written in it, so it's not like I can arrange for someone else to kill him. It's inconvenient. That's the flaw with the Death Note.
Light is usually so calm, but he snapped. This must be getting to him.
At first, I thought once I found out his name, I'd have him die in an accident or kill himself. However, none of that will do me any good unless I know with 100% certainty that this guy is L. No, it's already too late to do anything about it since he's approached me and introduced himself as L. It doesn't matter how sure I am. Regardless of the cause of death, if L dies now, the police are going to suspect me. I underestimated him. I never even considered the possibility that he would reveal his identity to me on purpose. He could be telling all the suspects the same thing. In fact, it doesn't even have to be him. He could have sent a double instead. For L, this strategy acts as a solid defense and it allows him to confront Kira directly. He can defend and attack. He got me. It was a good move. I'm sure I haven't seen the last of Ryuga. He'll keep trying to move in on me, playing the absent-minded genius, and we'll pretend like nothing's going on. This is perfect. There's no reason for me to be worried. After all, this is proof that they don't have anything on me yet. So this whole thing is nothing more than a contest between L and me. A match of wits. On the surface, we'll be two friendly classmates, but in reality, we'll actually be investigating each other. This is interesting, Ryuga. If it's my friendship you want, I'll gladly accept it. In time, I'll earn your trust. And once you've told me what I want to know, there'll be no point keeping you alive. Then I'll kill you. With my hands if I have to. Admit, I was surprised, Ryuga. I never thought you'd ask me to play tennis as a way to get to know each other.
Is it a problem for you?
Not at all. But when you first invited me to play, did you know how good I was?
Yes, I'll be fine though. It's been a while, but at one time I was actually the British junior champion.
If I ask him if he's British, would he think I'm trying to find out more about him because I'm Kira? Oh well, can't hurt to try. Ryuga, were you raised in the UK?
I lived in England for about 5 years when I was younger, but save your breath. Nothing in that story would reveal Elle's true identity, I promise you.
Oh, is that so?
Well, since it's our first match, why don't we just play a single set? First one to 6?
That's fine by me.
This is just a friendly game of tennis, nothing more. In and of itself, it won't determine if Light is Kira, but I know Kira hates to lose. Hey! Ah! 15 love.
Whoa, Ryuga, you sure don't mess around.
He who strikes first wins.
What do you mean you're not at liberty to say?
I'm very sorry, sir. We're under orders from Elle not to discuss the case with anyone, including you.
I'm not asking for details here, just what you're doing and where.
I'm very sorry, sir.
You know, Yagami, it's been 4 months since this case came to the public's attention, and they want results. People are saying that the NPA is incompetent, that Elle is incompetent.
With all due respect, sir, the rest of the department runs away with their tails between their legs, and we're incompetent? Do you have any idea how many people are left at Task Force headquarters these days? If you're concerned with public opinion, then you'll want to suppress the fact that most of our detectives would rather let a serial killer roam free than risk their lives. Please excuse me.
Yagami, what about this Elle character? Can he be trusted?
In my opinion, he's a lot more capable than we are. Right now, even as we speak, he's risking his life.
Are these two really amateurs? Who are they anyway?
I think their names are Light Yagami and Hideki Ryuga. These are the same two guys who scored perfect on the exam.
Relax, Light. While it's true that Kira hates losing, it's also true that most people would rather win than lose. It's human nature.
Is he going to think that I'm Kira if I go for the win? I suppose I could just lose on purpose, but if I do, it could work against me. Since he'd expect Kira to want to win, he might also expect me to throw the match to avoid suspicion. I don't see any way that he can profile me based on a tennis match. So, I have to assume he has some other goal in mind. Either way, I'm not going to let him win.
Look at that. He's going for the win.
That's 4 games all. Light Yagami to serve.
And just like that, we've got an umpire and a line judge.
Oh, you won't believe this. I thought I'd heard the name Light Yagami somewhere before, so I checked. He was the 02-03 junior high tennis champion. Apparently, during the 3rd-year awards ceremony, he announced that he was hanging up his racket. And I guess he hasn't played competitively since.
Hey, what about my Ryuga? Don't tell me you haven't noticed him holding his own against this former junior high champ.
I can see the wheels turning, Light Yagami. I'm already in your head.
There's no way this tennis match will deepen our friendship. This is a token gesture, an elaborate act we'll go through so we can say we're closer.
Because I wanted to play tennis with you, you'll assume that I'm preparing to take a step closer, laying the groundwork to get to know you better.
And then you're going to try and trap me by getting me to say something that only Kira would know.
However, I'm sure you'll tell me you need to know if you can trust me first. And of course, the only way to win your trust will be to share what I know about Kira.
If you want me to discuss Kira with you, it only makes sense that I'd want to ask for proof that you are in charge of the investigation. And more importantly, that you are really Elle as you say you are.
So it goes without saying that the first thing you're going to want from me is...
some kind of confirmation from a third party that you really are Elle, which means...
we'll have to go to Task Force headquarters.
In all things, one cannot win with defense alone. To win, you must attack!
Game and set! Won by Light Yagami! 6 games to 4!
Just as I expected. You beat me.
It's been a while since I had to play that hard. I'm feeling kind of thirsty. Plus, there's something I wanted to ask you about. You want to go somewhere for a drink?
You humored me with the tennis match. The least I can do is answer some of your questions. But before this conversation goes any further, there's something I must tell you.
What's that?
I suspect that you, Light Yagami, are in fact Kira. Now, if you still want to ask me something, then please go ahead.
You think I'm Kira?
Well, when I say I suspect you, it's only a 1% possibility. That aside, I don't mind telling you that once I'm sure you aren't Kira, and I can verify that your deductive skills are as strong as I think they are, I'd like nothing more than to have you work with me on this investigation.
1%, huh? That was well worded. Because no matter how little he says he suspects me, it means he has grounds to prevent me from meeting anyone on the task force. That was quite the preemptive move on his part. He got me.
This coffee shop is one of my favorites in the area, and if we sit here, there's no chance of anyone overhearing us.
Thanks for showing me this place. I can see why you like it.
Not to mention, we're so out of the way here, no one's gonna give you a hard time about the way you sit.
I don't sit like this because I want to. I have to sit like this. You see, if I were to sit normally, my deductive skills would immediately be reduced by roughly 40%. So, what was it you wanted to ask me?
Right. I'm sure that can wait until you're convinced that I'm not Kira. So please, let's talk about whatever you want to.
You're under no obligation to do this, but would you mind submitting yourself to a test of your deductive reasoning skills?
Sure, why not? Sounds like fun.
All right, then. We can begin by taking a look at these. Photographs of 3 notes written by prison inmates while under Kira's control just prior to their deaths. None of this information has been made public. You can take as long as you want to look them over. Please let me know what you think.
Very interesting. Come on, this is child's play. There's a print number on the back of each of these photographs. If I ignored this fact and was still able to come up with the phrase, "El, do you know, gods of death love apples," what would that mean? Clearly, if I read it the way Kira intended on my first attempt, I'd only look more suspicious. But the fact that I'm able to solve this silly code isn't enough on its own to prove that I'm Kira.
It would be quite amazing to learn that not only could Kira kill others, but could also control his victims' actions. I think Kira wrote these, and it seems he's encoded a message for you as well, almost as if he's mocking you. If you line these notes up side by side and take a look at the first letter of every line, it reveals a message. Rearranging it like this gives you... L, do you know? Gods of death love apples. But there are obvious print numbers on the back of all these photographs. Arrange it in that order, we get... L, do you know? Love apples, gods of death. That doesn't sound right. And based on that, it's hard to believe that Kira would have wanted you to read it this way.
That's incorrect.
Huh?
The thing is, there were actually 4 photographs. When we add this one, it reads... L, do you know? Gods of death who love apples have red hands.
It's a fake. I never made any criminal write the letter in this 4th picture. Is he stupid?
But seeing as I only had 3 photographs to work with, my deduction was perfect.
No, it wasn't. The truth is, there were 4 of them. If you'd figured that out, it would have been perfect. Even though you knew the message was incomplete, you decided that there were only 3 notes. You never even considered that there might be a 4th. What do you make of that?
Damn him! This wasn't just about gauging my deductive reasoning skills. He wanted to see what my reaction would be. If I keep falling for his tricks, I'll be playing right into his hands.
Well, you got me there. I didn't think of that. In any case, the likelihood this message will lead you to Kira is not very great. Besides, we all know gods of death don't exist.
If you were me, faced with someone who might be Kira, how would you go about establishing this person's innocence or guilt? You'd need to be absolutely sure.
I would probably try to get him to say something that was never made public in any way. Something that only Kira could know. Kinda like what you were doing just now.
Truly amazing. What's incredible is that I've asked countless detectives that same question, and it took most of them minutes to even come up with an answer. But you you immediately thought of a scenario in which Kira is speaking directly to the investigator. I'm impressed. You'll make a fine detective, Light.
But it's a bit of a double-edged sword. The more impressive my answers, the more of a suspect I become.
Yes, it's about 3% now. However, it's made me that much more determined to work with you on this investigation. You see, I'm in a position where even if you are Kira, it would still be to my benefit to have you working alongside us. Do you know why I'd say that?
If I cooperate with you, there's a chance I can help the investigation to move forward. And if I'm Kira, I might reveal myself. In other words, whether I'm Kira or not, you stand to gain either way. It's a very smart move on your part. But I think you might be getting the wrong idea. It's true that I do have an interest in the Kira case, and yes, detective work is a hobby of mine. But I know that I'm not Kira, and I certainly don't want to be killed by him. Besides, what proof have you been able to give me that you yourself aren't Kira? I mean, it hardly seems fair for just one of us to be investigated, wouldn't you say? At this point, neither of us can prove that we're not Kira. However, if you are in fact L, I don't imagine it would be that hard for you to prove it to me. I think I'd be convinced if, say, my father or someone else from the task force headquarters was able to confirm your identity. If you can't do that, then I'm afraid I just won't be able to help you.
You sure talk a lot, don't you, Light? Typical for someone who hates losing. I think that's 7%. Could it really be him? I don't remember saying you couldn't meet anyone from task force headquarters to verify my identity. I'm currently working alongside your father, as well as several other senior detectives from the NPA. Now, if I understand you correctly and I take you to task force headquarters, you'll help us with the investigation. Am I safe in making this assumption?
Does this guy have a death wish? I don't understand. What's he thinking?
Excuse me.
Oh, there goes mine.
Yes?
Ryuzaki, I have some bad news.
Light, your father is...
Light, it's your...
My father. He had a heart attack.
Okay, see you tomorrow. Have them call home if you need me to bring anything. Light, you take care of him, okay?
Sure. So the doctors think stress was the only cause?
Yeah. To be honest, I thought it was Kira when I first collapsed, but I'll be all right. It seems I've been pushing myself a bit too hard lately.
Indeed. It must have added to your stress knowing that Light is a suspect in this investigation.
You actually told my father that?
Yes. In fact, I've told him everything. It's true, he even knows that I am L.
That's correct. This man is L. To protect his identity, we on the task force refer to him as Ryuzaki. But make no mistake, it's him.
This guy is the real L. My father wouldn't lie. The very same man who's been controlling the police up to this point. If I get rid of him and the rest of the investigative team... No, let's face it, it wouldn't be that simple. There's no need to rush. I have time to sit back and watch. But for now, I'm the light Yagami who's worried for his father.
So, Ryuzaki, now that you've had the chance to talk to my son, is he cleared as a suspect?
When I say I suspect him, you should know it's very minor. We've gone over this, but I'll explain it again. Not long ago, Kira killed 12 FBI agents who'd come to Japan to assist us. They were instructed to follow people connected to the Japanese police. One of these agents, Ray Penber, exhibited unusual behavior before he died.
I understand, and I was one of the people Ray Penber was investigating before he died. It only makes sense I'd be a suspect. Nope, to be more precise, there's no one else you could suspect.
I find Light's deductive powers quite impressive. He's always quick and to the point.
Ryuga, I'd like to help with the investigation. My father has erased any doubts I might have had regarding your true identity. Also, I'd like nothing more than to catch Kira so I can prove once and for all that I'm not him.
No, Light. This is a time in your life when you should be studying to become a police officer. It won't be too late to join us once you are done.
Come on, Dad, what are you talking about? Who knows how many years that'll take? Besides, don't you remember my promise? That if something ever happened to you, would find Kira and make sure he gets executed.
I refuse to believe that my son could turn out to be Kira.
This doesn't seem like an act to me. Or if it is, it's too cheesy.
Light, listen to me. Kira is pure evil. We can all agree on that. But recently I've started thinking of this whole situation in a different way. What is truly evil is the power to kill people. And any person who has come to possess this kind of power is cursed. No matter how you use it, no true happiness can be obtained like that. Not by killing other people.
I think you're absolutely right. If Kira is just a normal person who somehow obtained this awful power, I would say that he's cursed.
Ryuzaki, I'm sorry for all this trouble, but I'll be back at work as soon as the doctors let me out of here.
Excuse me. Visiting hours were over 10 minutes ago.
Ryuga, what would it take to get you to believe that I'm not Kira? Please, isn't there something?
If you aren't Kira, it won't be necessary. Let things run their course and the truth will be revealed.
I can't take this anymore. Put yourself in my position. How do you think it feels to be accused of being Kira?
It was one of the worst feelings ever.
What if you were to lock me up for a month in a place with no TV or any other kind of access to the outside world and keep a constant watch over me?
Would any normal person be willing to go to such extreme measures to clear their name? That's no good. I can't do anything that would deprive you of basic human rights. And furthermore, it's complete nonsense for the investigator to take suggestions from his suspect.
I understand.
Don't worry so much. Be patient. It'll become apparent to us if you're not Kira. And listening to that conversation between you and your father, I was almost convinced you might not be him. Light, please take good care of Mr. Yagami.
Oh, one more thing. I know I agreed to help with the investigation, but I don't think I'll be able to do much until my father is healthy again.
Yes, of course. Well then.
Hideki Ryuga. Ryuzaki. He's the L I've been fighting this whole time. But what is his real name?
Light Yagami. Are you not Kira?
Ryuk. Huh? I never once felt cursed since I picked up the Death Note. In fact, the thought never even crossed my mind. I'm happier than I've ever been, all thanks to this power. I'm going to create a perfect world.
Honestly, I could care less whether you feel cursed or happy to have a notebook. I leave that sentimental crap to you humans. But normally humans who come into contact with a Shinigami have nothing but misfortune.
That's interesting. But I have no intentions of repeating that pattern.
Well, I hope you're right about that.
What is this crap? Don't tell me this is your idea of a proposal! Listen, you people must think that just mentioning Kira's name is enough to get us the ratings we need, huh? Well, you're wrong! Our program gets the ratings because we cover the stories that the other stations won't touch. If it bleeds, it leads. What I need is a good freaking story, not this crap. Now get out there and find me a story!
But the police won't talk, sir. It's been impossible to get details from them lately.
Idiot! I don't pay you to complain. If they won't give you anything, then get creative!
Mr. Dimagawa, sir, this is for you.
What is it? So who is this from? Huh? Now this is more like it. This is what I call a story. It's almost too good to be true. A message to the world from Kira. If you do not broadcast these tapes, I will kill your company's board of directors one by one. Who wouldn't air these? If this is for real, our ratings are gonna go through the roof. Holy crap! I'm so excited I feel like I'm having a heart attack here.
Regarding Naomi Misura's disappearance, shouldn't we open an investigation into this matter?
If we do, it should be coordinated separately from the Kira case. Also, we'll have to use police sketches instead of actual photos.
We're talking about someone who's been missing for 4 months already. Chances are she's probably dead.
If you're right about that, I find it odd that we haven't found her body yet. If we did, it might provide us with some much-needed physical evidence.
Ryuzaki, something seems to be happening on Sakura TV.
In other words, all of the reporters and staff here are Kira's hostages. Aside from that, we have a professional obligation to share this message with you. I assure you that this is not a hoax, and that Sakura TV is not airing this tape for the purposes of sensationalism.
Kira's hostages? What is this?
4 days ago, our program director here at Sakura TV received 4 tapes. After a thorough examination, there can be no doubt that they are from Kira himself.
Our audience rating should go up 60, no more like 70% after this.
The first tape we received contained a prediction regarding the time of death of 2 suspected criminals who'd recently been arrested. And as predicted, at the exact time that Kira had specified, both men died suddenly of heart attacks yesterday.
If what they're saying is true, it's clearly something that only Kira could do.
Kira has instructed us to air the second tape today at exactly 5:59 p.m., and we do intend to comply with his demands. This tape should offer proof of his powers by predicting yet another death. Beyond that, we understand that it contains a message to all the people of the world from Kira.
This has to be another fake, don't you think?
I doubt it. I'm pretty sure even Sakura TV wouldn't stoop that low.
And now, the video.
I am Kira. If this video was being aired on April 18th at exactly 5:59 p.m. as I requested, then the time now is 5:59, 47, 48, 49. Please change the channel to Taiyo TV. The news anchor, Mr. Kazuhiko Hibima, will die of a heart attack at exactly 6 o'clock.
What? Change it!
It can't be!
How could he?
Change the channel back. And I need you to bring us another TV, Watari. No, make it 2.
Yes. This is his punishment. I will present you with another victim. My next target is NHN TV commentator Mr. Seiji Kumaizumi, who is scheduled to appear in a live broadcast. He too has dared to defy Kira.
Ryuzaki?
Change it to channel 24. Please change it back.
Now that you've seen proof of my powers, you should have no trouble believing that I am Kira.
Kira said that he was going to send a message to the people of the world. Stop this broadcast! We can't let him finish!
Get Sakura TV on the line!
It's no good. I'm trying, but none of my contacts at the station have their phones on.
And nobody's picking up at reception either!
Damn it! Ukita, I'll stop this broadcast myself if that's what it takes!
People of the world, please listen to me. The last thing I want to do is kill the innocent. I hate evil and love justice. I've always thought of the police as allies, not as enemies.
Damn you, Kira.
I intend to create a new world, a perfect world that is free from evil. If you agree to join me in my mission, I know we can make it happen. And as long as no one tries to catch me, I promise that the innocent will not die.
Come on!
Even if you don't agree with me, all I ask is that you not publicize your views in the media. If you can do that, you will be spared. All you have to do now is be patient. I will create a better world that we can all enjoy. Say goodbye to the world as you know it. Soon, we'll have a new world ruled by benevolence, inhabited with kind-hearted, honest people. Try to imagine it. A world where the police and I will...
Sachiko.
Darling, this can't be good for your health. Please, you have to rest.
Sachiko, like it or not, I am still in charge of the Kira task force.
Damn, it's locked! This is the police! Open up! Oh, you idiots!
Hello? Program to
Damn,
you
I'm
live
still not getting
outside
through.
Sakura TV studio.
Aizawa, look!
As you can see, someone has collapsed just outside the door. Again, we're coming to you live from the Sakura TV building.
Ukita, damn it. Kira did this.
Mr. Aizawa! Where are you going?
Where do you think? I've got to go there.
You can't. Please think about this rationally.
What, you want me to just sit here and watch TV?
If this truly is the work of Kira, you'll just meet the same fate if you go there.
You told us that Kira couldn't kill without a name! So how could this happen?
The aliases and fake police IDs were worthless. What are we gonna do, Al? You don't think Kira has all our names already, do you?
That's a definite possibility. However, if that's the case, you'd think it would be easier for him to kill off the entire task force before making a move. Initially, I deduced that Kira needed both a name and a face to kill. But from what we've just seen, I'd say it's not entirely impossible that Kira can kill with only a face. All I know for sure is that Kira is either in that TV station or he's somewhere close by, in a place where he can watch everyone who enters the building. Perhaps he's in an...
If Kira is in the area, then isn't that why we should get down there?
For all we know, he could have just placed surveillance cameras in the area. If we rush down there unprepared, all of us will be killed.
Wasn't it you who said we'd have to risk our lives to catch Kira?
I meant what I said, but risking my life to catch Kira and doing something that I know will cost me my life are two entirely different things.
Oh, yeah?
Please control yourself. We've lost Ukita. I understand you want to go there, but if something was to happen to you as well...
I now await a response from the police. They must decide whether or not they'll help me create a better world for all of us. Please announce your decision on the 6 o'clock news in 4 days. I prepared 2 videos, one to be aired if the answer is yes, and another if the answer is no.
What the hell's going on? Hey, step out of the vehicle!
The Kira video. Show me which studio they're broadcasting it from.
A vehicle has just driven through the front doors of the station.
Well, that's one way to get into the building without being seen by Kira.
But who would...
This is the police! Stop this broadcast immediately! Who are you? Hand those tapes over to me. Do you understand?
Hold on, officer. It's not that simple. My hands are tied here. If we stop this broadcast, he'll kill all of us.
Shut up! You're gonna be killed right here and now if you don't give those tapes to me!
What? Come on, what the hell do you think you're doing? This is crazy!
This is happening because you chose to make Kira a celebrity! You're getting exactly what you deserve! I want every single copy you have, and don't make me ask you again!
I got it. I'll give them to you. No problem. Just please stop waving that gun around. You're acting like a madman.
We're still outside Sakura TV. As you can see, a police car has just arrived.
So we're not alone. There are still other officers out there who are willing to stand up to Kira.
Mr. Aizawa, you know Deputy Director Kitamura's cell phone number, right?
Aizawa, I told you not to call me on this phone.
This is L. There's something I need you to do for me. There may be police officers who will see this broadcast and feel moved to take action in the name of justice. If you don't take control of this situation quickly, there will be a disaster.
But technically, we're not supposed to be involved in this case. Huh?
Oh, 2 Two police officers have just collapsed on the sidewalk. I think we may be in danger. We're moving away from the scene.
I understand, Elle. I see your point now. Tell me what I should do.
Detective Superintendent Yagami.
Call him back immediately and give me the phone.
I need to speak with Ryuzaki.
Yes, it's me, Mr. Yagami. So, you're the one driving the police van.
That's right. I couldn't just sit and watch. I've confiscated all of the tapes. I'm bringing them to you.
But what about your condition? Are you all right?
I'm feeling just fine. To be honest with you, I don't think I've ever felt more alive. So what do you think I should do now? I'd say going out the front would be too dangerous. But I could always use the police van again.
Please hold the line for a second. Deputy Director Kitamura. It was Chief Yagami who just drove into the building. Are your preparations complete?
It's done, as you requested.
Mr. Yagami, listen carefully. In exactly 5 minutes, I want you to come out the front entrance.
You want me to exit through the front entrance?
Make sure there are no gaps. Do not reveal your faces. We know that Kira is not in the building. He is outside.
Thank you. I'll drive myself.
I understand.
Listen up. There is a very good chance that Kira is still in the vicinity of the station. As you move out, proceed with caution. You are not to remove your helmets.
There you have it. The police refuse to cooperate with Kira. Instead, they are preparing to fight. And, as much as I fear for my own life in saying so, this is right. And it must be done. Kira has become a threat to our very constitution. And as citizens, we must fight back. I am NHN's Golden News anchor, Koki Tanakabara.
Chief Yagami.
Welcome back, Chief.
Ryuzaki, I apologize for taking matters into my own hands. I have to admit I got a little bit carried away.
No.
Here. These are all of the tapes in an envelope. Everything Kira sent to the station is in here.
I can't thank you enough.
I think I'd better rest for a minute. Oh.
Mr. Yagami, this won't go to waste. The postmark is from Osaka. But Kira can control his victims before they die, so he could have delivered it from Osaka without going there himself. Mr. Aizawa, can you please take this to the crime lab right away?
I still have a couple of friends down there. I'll make sure they go over every inch of this.
That's good, please do so. While you're doing that, I'm going to watch these tapes to see if they can tell us anything.
Well, what do you make of these?
They were definitely interesting. If the police had said yes and agreed to cooperate with Kira, tape number 3 was supposed to be aired. Tape 4 if the answer was no. Tape 3 covers the terms of cooperation. Put simply, he's requesting that we broadcast the names of more criminals. He seems particularly interested in those who have assaulted others or those who have somehow hurt or taken advantage of the weak and defenseless. Of course, Kira would play the role of judge in all of this. Furthermore, as proof that the police are willing to cooperate, he wants police officials and Elle to appear on TV to make a public announcement that we plan to cooperate with him. He needs us to reveal our faces. That way he can kill us if the police do anything suspicious. In other words, he'll hold our lives as insurance.
I see. So what about the content of the 4th video if we were to answer no?
The wording was different, but he more or less says the same thing. Mr. Yagami, it should go without saying that the answer is no. Please have someone take tape number 4 over to Sakura TV and authorize them to broadcast it.
I can only say it's a shame that your answer is no. It's clear that the police wish to oppose me. This will not go unpunished. So, I'll start by taking the life of either the Director General of the NPA or the detective known as L, who is currently leading the investigation against me. The Director General or L? Who will pay the price for your refusal to cooperate in the creation of a peaceful world? You have 4 days to decide.
It looks like I've even got God on my side now. Well, I suppose it's actually a god of death.
Seems like it.
It would appear that another Shinigami has come to the human world, and somehow that Shinigami's death note has fallen into the hands of someone who agrees with Kira, and this person most likely has the Shinigami eyes, which makes him very deadly. His power to kill surpasses even mine. One thing is for certain, if I leave things, I'm pretty sure that L will be finished off within the next 4 days. However, I can't forgive this imposter for the way he's tarnishing Kira's image with these senseless killings. Not to mention, if he slips up and gets caught, the death note could be discovered, and that I cannot allow. I can't afford to leave him alone for much longer. Therefore, what needs to happen very soon is for me to join the task force. It'll allow me to keep track of L and this fake Kira.
Ryuzaki, I'm afraid it's as you thought. Several of our member countries have weighed in, and it seems they are in favor of having the real L appear on TV.
I think that's the most appropriate choice given the options. Well, we still have 3 days before it happens. Maybe we can find some countermeasure. After all this, it would really annoy me.
If I'm killed by the first person to jump on the Kira bandwagon.
Ryuzaki, what do you mean by that?
That there's a strong possibility that this Kira's a fake. No, we should think of him more as a second Kira.
A second Kira?
I don't understand. Why do you think there's a copycat? How did you come to that conclusion?
I looked at the victims he used for his predictions on tape number 1. Their purpose was to prove to Sakura TV's staff that he is Kira. Both their names were only reported in tabloids and daytime talk shows, so they weren't exactly hardened criminals. The real Kira has no need to prove himself using such insignificant criminals, but from the perspective of the second Kira, he'd want to make absolutely certain that he didn't predict the death of a criminal who could be killed by the real Kira first.
Ryuzaki, if you had to put a number on it, what's the probability of a second Kira?
This time I'd say it's more than 70%. I really don't like the way he operates. It's not like Kira.
Not like him?
In the past, he has traditionally avoided killing innocent people, with the exception of those who were trying to catch him. Anyway, if we can capture one Kira, I think that will provide us with a lot of insight into how we can find the other one. Mr. Yagami, I'd like your permission to ask your son to cooperate with us on this investigation.
If you want my son to join the task force, does this mean you no longer suspect him?
Well, I can't say that he's been completely cleared, but his deductive abilities would be invaluable to us right now.
So that's what it means. If my son wants to cooperate with you, then I have no reason to prevent it.
I appreciate that. However, please don't tell him that we think this latest Kira might be a fake. I don't want him to know that yet. We want to make it appear to him that we're still chasing the same Kira.
Misa, I gave that death note to you, so why not use it for yourself?
I am using it for myself because I believe in what Kira is doing. I want to know what kind of person Kira is. I want to meet him and talk to him. That's the only reason I sent all those videos to that TV station. I had to find some way to make Kira notice me. And I'd say that probably got his attention, don't you think?
It's a dangerous game you're playing. There's a chance you could be killed. Do you understand?
It's all right. I'm sure that Kira is kind to those with pure hearts. And if it came down to that, I'm still stronger than he is, because I have the eyes.
Light, Ryuzaki has decided that he'd like you to help with the investigation. If you're still interested, then you need to come here right away.
Okay, Dad. All along, I've been trying to find a way to get involved in the investigation, but I never thought they would actually approach me. Now I'll have access to classified information about the case, which means I can learn more about this other Kira. I need to figure out what this imposter is all about before someone else on the task force beats me to it.
Thank you, Light.
Not at all. After all, I want to catch Kira as much as you do, Ryuga.
I'll have to ask that you call me Ryuzaki here.
I'm Matsui.
I'm Aihara.
And I'm Asahi.
Yes, of course. Then perhaps I should call myself Light Asahi?
Yes, please do. To keep things simple from this point on, I'll call you Light. Okay, let's get down to work. You can start by looking over all the information we've collected. I'd also like you to examine these videos. They were sent to the TV station but were never aired. For security reasons, you're not permitted to take notes, and all materials must remain here.
I understand.
We will begin now.
Light.
Well then, we need to ask Light Yagami to assist us. However, we cannot tell him that we're considering the possibility of a second Kira.
Are you serious? But wouldn't that make working together a bit difficult?
He's right. Why even bother asking him to work with us?
Well, I didn't mean indefinitely. I'm curious to see what his impression of these tapes will be prior to knowing ours. Light's deductive reasoning is really quite incredible. He may suspect that these tapes are the work of a second Kira, an imposter, or copycat imitating the original.
But the basis for the second Kira theory is that the victims of these recent killings were minor criminals who don't fit the normal profile. Without hearing our explanation, how would Light ever know that?
Yes, but there's more to it than that. The suspect that we've been pursuing up until now has needed both a name and a face to kill his victims. But there is something different happening here. Recall that Mr. Ukita was killed the moment he arrived at the station. And this Kira demanded only that I appear on TV, but made no request for my name. This implies that the second Kira only needs to see a person's face to kill them. So I'll ask Light to look over all of our information, as well as our video evidence. If he comes to the conclusion that there could be a second suspect, then he'd be almost completely cleared of suspicion in this case.
But how will that prove anything?
Logically, if he's really Kira, he'll want me dead, seeing as I'm the one leading the investigation against him right now. And the way things are going, if I comply with this new subject's demands and appear on TV in 3 days, there's a very good chance I will die. I can't see the real Kira jeopardizing such an easy opportunity to get rid of me.
Okay, but are you suggesting that if my son does not come to the same conclusion, there's an even greater chance that he is guilty?
No. In that case, there will still only be a 5% chance. We'll inform him that we are investigating the possibility of a copycat and have him cooperate with us as planned.
Now that you've seen proof of my powers, you should have no trouble believing that I am Kira. On the designated...
This video is so mediocre. It's making me sick to my stomach. I don't know, maybe it's because I'm the real one, but this is a complete disgrace to everything Kira stands for.
Something's not right here. It seems unusual that no one bothered to explain this video to me. It's not like them. Well, in any case, I'd be stupid to comment on it. It's probably best if I say nothing. If I just leave it alone, Elle dies.
So, what do you make of this, Light? Have you come to any conclusions?
Damn, it's a test. It's hard to say for sure, but there might be another person out there with Kira's power.
With Kira's power? But what do you mean by that, Light?
At the very least, I'd say this tape was not created by the Kira we're familiar with. It's extremely out of character for him to use these kinds of victims for his killings. And since we've established that he needs a name and face to kill, it makes you wonder how he was able to kill that detective and those 2 officers right outside the television station like that.
It's the same.
That's almost exactly how Ryuzaki said it.
That was incredible, Light. Now any doubts about you should be resolved.
I think you're exactly right about that. We also believe that this is the work of a second Kira.
I knew it. So you knew about this all along, Ryuzaki? Which means this was just another one of your tests?
It wasn't my intention to test you. The truth is, if I was the only one who thought there was a second Kira, it wouldn't be too convincing. But the fact that we both came to the same conclusion makes the theory that much more believable. As expected, you did not disappoint us. You've been a great help. It's decided then. First, we must focus on stopping this copycat. From what we've seen, he sympathizes with the real Kira, but clearly lacks his sophistication. I think he might even be willing to obey the original. If so, we could lure him into a trap by sending our own message from the real Kira.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. You literally took the words right out of my mouth.
Oh, and Light, I would like you to play the part of the real Kira.
Huh? Me as Kira?
Yes, you're the only one I can think of who'd be able to pull something like this off. At any rate, we don't have time to waste. Do you think you could script a message from Kira in time for it to be aired on this evening's national news?
Damn him. He must have been planning this from the beginning. It's the only reason I'm here. Ryuzaki, does this look okay? I think I managed to make it believable.
I think you've done an excellent job with this. However, if we don't omit the part that says you're free to kill L, then I'm gonna end up dead.
Sorry. I guess I got carried away playing the part. I figured if I was him, I'd probably demand that you be killed. I was improvising. Feel free to change it to whatever you like.
Sounds good. Okay, Aihara, the script is ready. I'll leave it to you.
All right.
And now, a shocking announcement. In response to the frightening Kira video aired on Sakura TV only a few days ago, an anonymous individual has contacted us claiming to be the real Kira. In short, he has demanded of this network, as well as several others, that we air the message you are now about to see. I would also like to mention that the NPA has granted us permission to air this video. Is this the real Kira? No one knows for sure, but we can only hope this video will provide us with some much-needed answers.
I am Kira.
It worked! I knew he'd answer me!
The true Kira. The one who was broadcast on Sakura TV several days ago is a pretender, a fake. The purpose of this message is to communicate my will to this imposter. I have chosen to be lenient with him for the time being, only because I believe he wishes to cooperate with me in the creation of a new world. But I want to make it absolutely clear that the taking of innocent lives is against my will. If this person claiming to be me is truly sympathetic to my cause and wishes to be of some help, I ask two things of him: that he refrain from killing aimlessly, and that he agree to abide by my basic principles.
Yay! Now where is that camcorder?
What are you planning to do?
Hello? Do you really need to ask? I'm going to reply to him, of course.
Ryuzaki, we have a reply from the second Kira.
What?
Really?
I'll be bringing over the envelope and tape that we received, but in the meantime, I'm streaming a copy of the video so you can view it on your end.
Kira, thank you for your reply. Please do not worry. I will follow orders and do as you say.
Whoa, it worked.
I will do as you say, huh? This guy's gonna be no help at all. If this fake had any idea what my wishes were, he'd insist that Elle appear on TV and then kill him anyway. How could you fall for something like this? Damn it.
I really want to meet you. I don't think you have the eyes, but you don't have to worry. I would never try to kill you. That's a promise.
What the hell is he thinking? Talking about Shinigami eyes in a public message like this?
What's this having the eyes supposed to mean? Is it a code?
Yeah.
Please tell me how I can meet you without the police knowing. You'll think of something, and when we meet, we can confirm our identities by showing our Shinigami to each other.
Shinigami? He's a liability. If I don't do something about him quickly...
Ryuzaki! You alright?
Shinigami? Am I supposed to believe that? That Shinigami actually exist? Shinigami? Am I supposed to believe that? That Shinigami actually exist?
That's impossible. Obviously, they don't exist.
Yes, that's right, Ryuzaki. Listen to yourself. Of course Shinigami don't exist.
You're probably right, but I remember that Kira had those prisoners write something suggesting the existence of Shinigami.
So based on that fact, perhaps we're dealing with the same person after all. That would definitely explain why we're hearing the same words.
I don't think so, because if this was the same person, it's highly unlikely he would have responded to our video in the first place. And why would he agree to let L live after going to all the trouble of getting him to appear on TV? The real Kira wants him dead, so it doesn't make sense.
And maybe there's some other connection between the real one and this new guy. They could have already met and decided to use the word Shinigami as a way to confuse us.
No, I'd say that's unlikely. It's as Light says. If the two Kiras were connected, I don't think the imposter would be so willing to give up on his plan to kill me. All of this suggests to me that the copycat has his own agenda and is acting independently of the first. I believe his actual motivation is to meet the original.
I think you're right. He's acting out of an interest in Kira. The word Shinigami could very well be some reference to their killing power. Saying we can confirm our identities by showing our Shinigami to each other probably means that they'd confirm their identities by somehow demonstrating their ability to kill.
Yes, that's it. Based on their messages, we can assume that the word Shinigami must hold some other meaning that only the real Kira and the second Kira are aware of. Now, we just need to convince this copycat to tell us what that is.
So will you respond and force him to be more specific? We have to be careful how we handle this. We can't make it too obvious that we're asking, otherwise he'll realize we're not Kira.
No, from now on, it's best that we leave it up to the two Kiras.
What do you mean?
I imagine that the second Kira is probably quite satisfied with the current situation now that he's received a televised response. He sent a message to get Kira's attention, and as far as he knows, he now has it. Also, there's that word he used, one that only the two of them would understand. We'll arrange to have this reply broadcast today on Sakura's 6 o'clock news. Naturally, this will be of interest to Kira, and he'll be following this exchange between the copycat and the one we've invented. Now, if I were Kira himself, my priority would be to prevent this imposter from coming into contact with the police. This is good for us, because it means that the real Kira may feel pressured to respond this time.
Okay, but let's say that he doesn't respond. Then what do we do?
Yes, I've been thinking about what the second Kira might do if he gets no response. For one, he might reveal more information that he knows Kira once kept secret, to pressure him into a meeting. Of course, that would make Kira nervous. It could be interesting. And what would be more interesting is if Kira sends a message of his own to prevent this from happening. Ideally, this could provide us with the physical evidence we'll need to build a case against him. In the meantime, let's gather all the information we can on this copycat.
Oh, that's good. Yes. Beautiful. Just like that. Perfect. I'm telling you, these are gonna knock him dead. You look like a little angel, Misa.
Oh, I'm so tired. That shoot went on forever. Modeling takes a lot of energy. Hey, Rem.
Huh?
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
Each Shinigami has to have one death note of their own. For a Shinigami to give a notebook to a human, he needs to have two. Ryu could give a death note to Kira because he somehow found a way to sneak an extra one past the Shinigami King?
Right.
What about you?
The Shinigami King isn't someone who's easily fooled. It doesn't happen often.
Oh, then how did I get mine?
Let's just say it has a lot to do with the fact that I'm one of the few in the Shinigami realm who knows how to kill another of my kind. That's how I ended up with two.
Oh, I think I get it. You killed a Shinigami and then you gave his notebook to me, right?
It's not like that. I wasn't the one who killed him. I just happened to be around when he died. It was coincidence, really.
So, how do you kill a Shinigami? I have to know. Well?
Never repeat this to anyone. I learned the only way to kill a Shinigami is to make them fall in love with a human.
What a beautiful way to kill.
There once was a Shinigami named Jealous who spent all of his time watching over a certain human girl.
Jealous wanted nothing more than to look at her as she went about her daily life. It's today, isn't it? Her last day alive.
She looks so full of life. I wonder why today. It's just not fair.
I also wanted to find out how she was going to die, so I stayed and watched with him. It was nighttime and she was walking alone. No one else was around. And then it happened. A man suddenly appeared and blocked her path. He was clearly infatuated with the girl.
I love you more than anyone else in the world. I'm always watching you. I want to protect you forever.
She'd never seen the man before, and of course, turned him down.
Then, if I can't have you, I'll kill us both!
Wait, stop it! What are you doing? Without even thinking, Jealous did something that we Shinigami must never do. Jealous used his death note to kill the man instantly, and therefore saved the girl's life. It was the wrong thing to do. Shinigami exist only to shorten and take human lives. We aren't permitted to undo that which has been fated. At that moment, Jealous became something which was neither sand nor rust, and disappeared forever. He died. The only reminder of his existence was his death note, left behind. The rest of his lifespan was added to hers. So not only had he saved her life, he'd accidentally extended it well beyond its natural end.
So if he'd never fallen in love with this girl, he'd probably still be alive today, wouldn't he?
That's right.
I had no idea. All this time I thought it was luck, but it was a Shinigami who saved my life that day.
Yes. Jealous loved you enough to die for you. So that death note is now yours to keep.
I see. For a Shinigami to die, they have to love a human enough that they'd prevent their death from happening. So what about you, Rem? You're not in love with me, are you? Be honest.
Just forget it. You really think you can kill me that easily?
Oops, you saw through that? I'm so glad. At least now I have something interesting to tell Kira. But I wonder, does he know how to K-I-L-L a Shinigami? I asked him on TV to find a way for us to meet each other, but he hasn't replied to me yet. What's taking him so long? Maybe I should just send him another message.
This isn't good. I can't allow this second Kira to act on his own for much longer. He's careless, so it's only a matter of time before he slips up, and when he does, the police will be waiting. With him in custody, they could find out about the death note.
Something to start.
A strawberry sundae, please.
Of course. Be right back.
What should I do? How can I contact the second Kira without Elle noticing anything?
Here you go. Enjoy.
I can't wait to meet Kira.
I wonder, what kind of person are you, imposter?
I wonder, what kind of person are you, Kira?